ChatGPT is only 2 months old, but it's already caused a stir in the tech world. ChatGPT surpassed 1 million users in just 1 week and is expected to transform how we use technology completely. It appears that OpenAI, the creators of ChatGPT, is currently on top of the world. But behind all of this, another company you're very familiar with has been waiting for this moment for years because it will make them the true winners of the AI battle and the billions of dollars at stake. Microsoft is the name of this company. Microsoft has been pulling the strings behind the scenes for years, and they're about to announce a brilliant $10 billion deal with OpenAI that could be the biggest tech deal of the century. If they succeed, companies like Google, which invented the technology behind artificial intelligence, will be left behind. And speaking of Google, this is the first time that anyone has a legitimate chance of defeating them as the search masters. There are 3 main reasons why Microsoft is transitioning from a mundane company that makes document software to a world-changing AI company in the coming years. ChatGPT is only one piece of the puzzle. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella decided to invest $1 billion in OpenAI in 2019. At that time, OpenAI was only a small AI research laboratory. However, ChatGPT and AI-generated images were still considered science fiction. Nobody could have predicted that we would be where we are today in just 3 years. A time when the educational system is trying desperately to figure out how to deal with AI. However, these technologies exhibit what is known as hockey stick growth, where you see tiny increments for years that then compound and blow up in a very short time, and this is what is happening now. But the clever part of Microsoft's deal with OpenAI in 2019 was that a portion of the $1 billion paid by Microsoft was made in cloud credits, which is the key to it all. To better understand this, consider that the most expensive aspect of operating and running an AI model is the crazy amount of computing power it needs. It's no wonder that the world's second largest cloud computing supplier is, of course, Microsoft. By now, some of you are starting to see why this is so brilliant. In other words, Microsoft said, "Hey, I'm going to give you this much money to take a chunk of your pretty awesome company, yet I know that your highest cost will be computing power, and I'll be the one to provide you with that." So practically, Microsoft was providing money to OpenAI so they could pay Microsoft back. This investment essentially places Microsoft on an exclusive partnership with OpenAI. If you think this is interesting so far, just wait until you know what comes next. Just a few days ago, it was stated that Microsoft and OpenAI are apparently working on a $10 billion contract, and if the deal moves forward, it could be the most brilliant tech deal of all time because Microsoft is giving $10 billion in exchange for owning 49% of OpenAI. In addition to that, OpenAI will have to give Microsoft 75% of its earnings until they pay back the full $10 billion. But where is OpenAI going to spend all of this money? Can you guess? Well, most of the money will be covering the computing power costs supplied by Microsoft. So why would OpenAI accept this? First and foremost, it will make its staff and founders a substantial amount of money. But the other, more essential reason is that while ChatGPT is the latest craze in tech, it's bleeding dollars at an alarming pace. While you see individuals messing around on ChatGPT, OpenAI is investing $3 million per day on cloud computing. With things the way they are, they're expected to spend only $1 to $3 billion on cloud computing in the coming year. This is already a great deal for Microsoft and can position Satya Nadella as a wizard. Still, the true objective is that Microsoft and OpenAI want to provide the groundwork for artificial intelligence from where everyone else will develop. ChatGPT is a chat-based interpretation of a system called GPT 3.5, which stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. To make this all work, you need computing power, which, as we already know, is generously provided by Microsoft. Because developing a new AI model from scratch is too expensive, many businesses opt to pay OpenAI to utilize their existing models, such as GPT-3, via APIs. At its core, GPT-3 is a machine learning model that can generate human-like text. It can be used for a wide range of applications, from natural language processing and language translation to content creation and more. However, Vox QI is going beyond that by adding several more layers of value, like customer intelligence and personalization. They go beyond the surface level by using machine learning to learn and optimize customer experience as well. By using algorithms to identify patterns and trends in user data, Vox QI is able to optimize content to increase engagement, conversions, and overall ROI. Expand this to thousands of businesses and millions of daily interactions, and this translates to billions of dollars in sales for both OpenAI and Microsoft. If that wasn't enough, for the first time ever, they get a once-in-a-lifetime ticket to challenge the power of the #1 search engine, Google. Google is already falling, and Microsoft wasted no time. They've already begun to include ChatGPT into their search engine Bing. Up until today, Bing was essentially an exact duplicate of Google, with the same structure, same concepts, and same all, and they gained their 9% market share purely by being the default search engine on Windows. Thus, their primary contribution was funny memes. But now that they made this powerful tool, they have an opportunity to provide true innovation, something that hasn't occurred in 20 years. However, merely entering ChatGPT into Bing is not enough. There are certain critical issues that Microsoft must consider. The first issue is consumers and litigation. There are several cases of how ChatGPT and other AI models like DALL-E generate outputs that are racist, insulting, or harmful, as AI systems are only good as the data they're trained with. So the product will have flaws for sure. For example, if you ask it to summarize the day's news, some writers may worry whether their piece was written by the AI to provide the findings. And this is a legal spectacle in the making. Not to mention that Microsoft attempted to introduce an AI chatbot only a few years ago. However, it had to be taken down very soon since it became excessively racist and improper. Oh, and now there's economics. The fundamental difficulty with AI systems right now is that they're highly costly. A single response from ChatGPT costs a few cents in processing power, which is over 100 times more than a regular Google search, and both Google and Bing today generate income on what is known as a pay-per-click, where sponsors pay them for each click generated. This, however, cannot happen if an AI search engine provides you with the answer rather than a collection of links on a page. Microsoft may fix this by creating the first premium search engine that requires a monthly charge to access. So there is still one question to be asked. Why hasn't Google taken any action? They'll always be at the head of AI, but they haven't introduced any substantial AI-based products that have had an effect even slightly comparable to ChatGPT or DALL-E. And this is because, while Google could redesign their whole search experience with AI, they just have too much to lose. Google search accounts for 58% of Google's income. As a result, taking this risk might be devastating for them. Bing, on the other hand, accounts for only 5% of Microsoft's total income. As a result, their downside is restricted, but their potential upside is enormous. So far, everything appears to be coming into place for Microsoft's grand ambition to take over AI infrastructure. However, for all this to become a reality, models such as GPT-3 must remain defensible. In other words, they cannot be replicated easily so that companies still use OpenAI's technology instead of building their own. Nowadays, the majority of AI applications we encounter are built on infrastructure models such as GPT, but we don't know if this will continue to be the case in the future. And AI will have a very exciting year in 2023. Now, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel if you enjoy it. It enables me to continue doing what I do and providing value to you all.